Ben Carson went on the Faith and Liberty radio show, and I have to say, his comments even shocked me because he's a doctor. He's a neurosurgeon. Say what you want about every other aspect of his life, and I do. On the issue of medicine, clearly knows way more than me and everybody else, okay? You're a fucking neurosurgeon. You don't get there easily. So, with that being said, it's amazing, but he's going to make some very questionable comments and arguments against the scientific age of the earth and evolution.
I don't know how old the earth is because the Bible says, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. Then it doesn't say how long a time went by before he started creation week. So no one has that knowledge based on the Bible. What I do know is that I believe that God is all-powerful. He can do anything. So if he can create a man who is fully mature, he could also create an earth that was mature. So, carbon dating, all these things, really don't mean anything to a God who has the ability to create anything at any point in time. And the problem with man is that they believe that they're so smart that if they can't explain how God did something, then it didn't happen, which of course means that they're God. You don't need a God if you consider yourself capable of explaining everything.
Those are good points. What about being a surgeon? Any of that lead you to some of those conclusions too?
Well, certainly being a neurosurgeon and dealing with the complexity of the human brain, billions and billions of neurons, hundreds of billions of interconnections, and they all have to be connected the right way. And somebody says that came from a slime pit full of promiscuous biochemicals? I don't think so. And, even if you look at something like natural selection, which I totally believe in, by the way, but with natural selection, it says that, things that are useful tend to be passed on. Things that are not useful don't get passed on. And this is how, the whole genetic display occurs. But how, on the basis of that, do you ever develop a kidney? Or how do you develop an eyeball, which has multiple parts, none of which have any function without the others? So did a rod cell just appear one day and just decide, let me sit around for a few million years until a cone cell develops, and then a retinal network can develop, and then, a posterior and an anterior chamber, and a lens and a cornea and short ciliary nerve? Give me a break.
It's amazing. I don't even know what to make of all that, because in the middle of it, he goes, I totally believe in natural selection. But then every point he makes is to suggest he doesn't believe in natural selection. Which is it, dude? No, I jotted down some stuff here. This is incredible for a neurosurgeon to say these things. Quote, I don't know how old the Earth is. Quote, carbon dating doesn't mean anything. What? What are you talking? You're a guy who has at least some level of a scientific mind because you're a fucking neurosurgeon. You don't know how radiocarbon dating works? You don't know that the age of the Earth being 4.54 billion years old is well established through various forms of scientific methods to determine how that's the case? You don't understand this? How's it I understand this? I'm a fucking radio host. I'm a political commentator. I get this, you don't get this. No, that's stunning because it shows his religious beliefs and his ignorance are meshing together with this idea of him being a neurosurgeon. And unfortunately, the religious and ignorant side is winning the battle in his mind. And then he makes the same argument that we just talked about in the last segment of, well, the complexity of the human brain and how intricate our systems are. To me, it can't just be natural selection. There has to be God involved too. It has to be. Yeah, but okay, so your argument again is, if something is complex, if something is designed, there must be a designer. Okay, so then who designed God? Because God is the most complex thing. Okay, to create us, to create a human race, to create the planets, the universe, and all this, everything we've ever known and everything that ever will be, way more complex than us, way more designed than us. Who designed the designer? Here's their response. They don't fucking have a response. They never have a response to that. So what do? They just spew their... I mean, he's spewing ignorance there is what he's doing. He's saying, things appear kind of intricate, kind of fascinating, so God. Evolution is questionable. I don't know how old the Earth is. Vote for me. I'm going to run for president.